guys, and welcome to today's review. Today I'll be going over the new Black Diamond Storm 160 lumens headlamp. I've been using the Black Diamond Storm 100 lumens headlamp for a few years now, and I'm going to do a comparison video next. However, in this video I'm going to purely review the new 160 model with its features and functions. So let's get started. Now, first and foremost, I'm just going to take a real quick look at the box. This is pretty much what you get the Storm headlamp in. All the information here is on the back. You've got the information about the maximum and minimum lumens. So I'll read out the information here, 4 being its minimum, 160 being its maximum. You've got a claimed 200-hour burn time on the minimum setting and a 70-hour burn time on the maximum setting. You've got a minimum distance of 3 meters and up to 70 meters. As the maximum distance you can throw the beam. You've got the power tap function here advertised, which I'll show you guys later. A really nice handy new feature. You've got a whole bunch of other different settings, features here about the torch, and you've got the weight of the torch. Now, the torch itself is 62 grams. It takes 4 AAA batteries, which weigh 48 grams and make up almost half the weight of the torch, as you can see. And the whole thing comes in at about 110 grams, pardon me, which is slightly lighter than the older Storm, but not by much. Anyway, we're not here to review the box, we're here to take a look at the headlamp itself. So this is the Storm, Black Diamond Storm 160 lumens headlamp. It comes with a nice comfortable elastic band, now material elastic. Now, this is the same headband that was used on the older Storm. No problem with that. The older one was perfectly fine. As with anything, once you're wearing it for a couple of hours, it does get a little bit uncomfortable, but nothing too bad. I've had no issues with the headband. It's nice and easy to adjust. You've also got on the headband here a flathead screwdriver bit, which you can use to help open and close the screw on the battery compartment. So rather than having to search around for another flathead screwdriver, pretty simple to loosen that, and then you can open up the battery compartment on the Storm. Once you've changed the batteries out, you just tighten a little bit with your hand like so, and then once again you can use that flathead bit on the headband to just tighten it up like so. Perfect. Okay, as you can see here, this is how much the Black Diamond Storm, the hinge will open up. This is more than enough. If you imagine that your head is like so, this is more than enough that if you're reading anything, you'll be able to get the light pardon me, directly on that object, on the Kindle or book or what have you. So no complaints there. It's definitely very, very firm. It clicks through the different settings. So as you can see, it's got the 3 different ones. So the first one pointing directly forward, then we've got a slight angle as the second, third and fourth. Sorry, 4 settings instead of 3. Taking a look at the other things on the torch, probably the biggest thing, or the biggest 2 changes, are the battery and lock indicator. It goes from the right hand side of the torch over towards the left, and again over here you've got that power tap button, which we'll get into in a sec. Apart from that, the design is pretty much exactly the same as the old Storm. You've got your main LED light, then the 2 side ones, and also the red LEDs there. The button really hasn't changed. It's still pretty much a single button. You can argue that it's 2 buttons now because you've got that power touch function here on the right hand side. Going over the functionability of the torch, or how it works, pretty simple. One button gives you the high powered beam, so the beam which goes 70 meters. Now when you turn on the torch, the beam is actually at 70%, so in order to go to 100%, you need to press and hold that, and you can see now it's at 100%. You can simply adjust the beam power by pressing and holding. You'll see it cycle down, give a little brief bleep, and then cycle straight back up. So let's do that now. Going down, gives a quick bleep, and then goes back up. So you can pretty much let go anywhere you like, and that's where the beam's going to stay. A little annoying thing about the torch is, for example, you've been using a lower setting beam, you go to turn the torch off, and now when you turn the torch back on, it's back to that 70%. It would be nice if when you turn the torch back on, it turned on to the previous power setting. However, a new function of this torch is the power tap button. So let me lower the beam here to give you a better example. So let's say you've got the beam on a slightly lower setting. For example, you might be reading something or doing something close to your face at camp, so you don't need a bright setting. Then you might need to go off to the toilet or go to the tent, and you need a higher beam setting, but only for a little bit. So rather than having to use the big button, press it, cycle through, etc., then press it again and cycle back down, what you can do is you have this touch button here on the side. All you simply do is touch the little part of the torch there, and as you can see, the light jumps straight to 100%. Once you've done whatever it is you wanted to do, press one more time and it goes back to the previous power setting. So that's a nifty little addition to the Storm headlamp. So once again, pressing goes to full power, press again, it goes to your previous power setting. So that is the main LED light. You've also got the side LED lights. So what these do is they throw the beam out nice and wide. This setting is really handy for working around camp, say for example cooking dinner at night or early in the morning, reading and what have you, or doing something inside the tent. So in order to activate that, all you have to do is you have to press the big button twice, so 1, 2, and now you've got the wider throw. Now it is quite bright, so it's not a really good example of how good this torch is, but you'll get the idea. Now exactly the same thing, it's at 70%, so I press and hold, it goes to 100. Okay, you can see it's gotten a little bit brighter, and again press and hold, it'll cycle through, going down low and coming back up. Now the same thing, I'll have it on a lower setting, you can just see it there on the camera. If I press that little side button, it'll go straight to 100%. Press it again, it'll go to the previous setting. Back to 100%, back to its previous setting. And again, one button to turn it off. Now it does strobe and white light, so in order to do that, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we've got our strobe going. The other function this torch has is a red light. So from here, press and hold for 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, and you've got a red beam. Once again, 70%, press and hold, goes to 100, press and hold, and it'll cycle through low and high intensities. And again, same thing, it's on a lower setting, and I press that little touch button on the right hand side, it'll jump to 100%, press again, it'll jump to whatever setting you had beforehand. Same in the red as in the white, you can strobe, 1, 2, 3, and now we've got a strobing red light. Other features about this torch is you've got the power setting, so you can see here the battery indicator whenever I turn on the torch. From here, well, I don't know why it doesn't work in the red, normally it's meant to work in the red LEDs, but we'll turn it back to the white LED, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so from here you've got the green light. Now you've got green, orange and red, they represent different levels of the battery. I think green off the top of my head is 75% and up, or it could be 50% and up. The orange is 25 plus up to that red setting, so either 50 or 75, and the red is 25 and below. So again, it gives you an indication of where the battery is at any point in time. You can see it'll turn off after a second or two, and there it goes. The last function I want to show you about this torch is the locking function. It's a great little function which potentially saves the batteries when the torch is in your pack. Now this button isn't super easy to press, it definitely requires a bit of force in order to turn on the light, but it can accidentally get turned on in your pack when it's bumping around. So if you press and hold for 6 seconds, you can see this indicator turn blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's now gone blue, so the torch is locked. So if I press that button, the torch will not turn on, just a blue indicator light will turn on, letting me know the torch is locked. In order to unlock the torch, you simply do the same thing, press and hold for 6 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we've got the ability to use the torch again. So this has been a review of the Black Diamond Storm headlamp, the newer version. I believe it came out in 2014 with 160 lumens. It's a great little unit. It's used here in Australia, I know in New South Wales at least, by the emergency services, so the rescue units and things like that, simply because it's a great little bomb-proof torch, completely waterproof and really tough. Haven't had this one for long, but like I mentioned, I've been using the 100 lumens version, the older version, for a few years and haven't had any issues with it, hence I decided to upgrade to the newer version. Definitely great functionality, they've made it a lot easier. And have a look at my comparison video if you're umming and ahhing between getting the newer Storm or the older Storm. Guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them, and as always, give us a thumbs up if you've gotten something out of this video. I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.